What is up, flock? Phoenix here, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about this Coldest Limitless bottle today. And today we're going to be putting it to the test. We're going to be comparing it to a couple other bottles. Now, unfortunately, we are unfortunately, or fortunately for Coldest, unfortunately for the testing purposes, my family is a Coldest family. I've talked about this numerous times. I've showed off the amount of bottles we have from Coldest. We are a Coldest family through and through. I use mine whether I'm working outside, whether I'm working inside. My wife takes hers to work. Our kids both take theirs to school. So we don't have really any other brands. Just for testing purposes, I went into Walmart and saw that they had this Bubba Cup for like $7, which I think usually retails for around $25. I'm not 100% certain. I just saw it on clearance and I was like, for $7, I'll throw it in for a testing, and then the youngest one can use it, to drink stuff around the house, or the wife, whichever one wants it. But it was it was that or nothing. So I got the Coldest Limitless bottle here. I have a standard Coldest water bottle because I want to test if there's any difference between the two. I grabbed the Bubba Cup, and then I grabbed just a standard plastic water bottle to test out. While I was to prepare for it, I should say, I filled up a water pitcher with water, and I put it in the refrigerator. We have a new refrigerator, which I'm guessing runs a little cold because it ended up freezing some of the water, and the lid to the pitcher was actually frozen on top of it, so I had to remove it and just pour what water I had straight out of the pitcher, which unfortunately I didn't have enough to fill up all 3 bottles that I was filling. So the standard Coldest water bottle was a little bit had a little bit of a warmer water in it. I had to fill some water up out of the faucet and pour in there, so the results are going to be a little bit high. The temperature is going to be a little bit higher than the rest, but that is because I had to make do with what I had. So first we're going to fill up the Bubba Cup with water, which this thing is pretty sturdy. I'm not going to knock it at all. You're going to get my honest opinion with all this. It is a pretty sturdy cup, and I do enjoy the size a little bit more than the Limitless Coldest bottle. I think that's the only area it excelled in compared to the Limitless bottle, and the other ones, the size was a little bit better. It's a 24 ounce, I believe. So it's not as big as the other two, but for sitting on your desk and all that, it's by far more convenient. There you go. I was looking for the word. The other convenient one being just the plastic water bottle. That's what you get when you're out and about. You grab it, throw it in the cooler, all that. So that's the extreme convenience. So we're just going to fill these all up. While I'm filling up these bottles, I do want to talk a little bit about the whole cup holder situation. Now, anything, I think it's 32 ounce and above on the standard Coldest water bottles, they tend to get a little too big for cup holders. Unless you have a extra large cup holder, your standard cup holders will not hold anything above or anything 32 ounce and above. So that was one of the huge pluses with this Limitless bottle, is that it is tapered at the bottom, so it can fit into cup holders. Every cup holder I tried, and we'll put them in here. I tried my stepmom's Nissan Pathfinder when I borrowed it for the move. Fit perfectly, although the little rubber inserts did come out. I think that was like an aftermarket thing that she put in there because it popped right out with the bottle. I tested the cup holders in my Hyundai Sonata. I tested the cup holder on my dad's lawnmower. I even tested the cup holders in the camping chairs that we have. So it fit in every single one, whereas the standard Coldest water bottles, like I said, that are 32 ounce above, and this marble one that I'm currently using in the video, it actually does not fit in any of them because it's so big at the bottom. And this is, I think it's a 32 ounce bottle. So that's unfortunate. Whereas the smaller ones, the smaller sports bottles from Coldest actually do fit in. Like I think it's like 24 ounce and below actually do fit in most cup holders. So wanted to touch on that and just provide you with some clips of it putting in. So let's get to the temperatures here. So we're going to start off with the standard Coldest water bottle first. Again, keep in mind this one is a little bit warmer because I had to use some water out of the faucet to get in it. But as you can watch, it goes down, 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 down. And I think it's a little bit above 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It might actually reach 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hard to tell from the angle. I should have shot this better, but yeah, it's right about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not bad. That's a cold drink of water on a hot summer day. I think faucet water ends up being around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is I made a mess. That is a cold drink of water on a hot summer day. Not gonna lie. Next up, let's test just the plastic water bottle and see how cold it is. It has been sitting in the refrigerator all night, so we are gonna check it out. Actually, it fits. The thermometer fits in there perfectly. I'm gonna lift up here. As you can see, it's actually below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually, it might be around 35. Oh, is it getting? It's getting close to that freezing line. Nice and cold. Nice and cold. So again, that's an extra nice cold drink of water on a hot summer's day. Next up, we'll try the Coldest Limitless bottle. We're just gonna stick it in. Unfortunately, this thing's too tall for my camera. I gotta lift it up. I think I'm pretty sure I lifted it up to show you the temp. Yep, there we go. And as you can see, it's right at the freezing mark. Actually, it might be a little bit below the freezing mark. That's a really good drink of water on a hot summer day. Not gonna lie. So as you can see there, it's right on the freezing line. So that water, a little bit colder, would be ice cold. And then let's screw the lid on there, and then we're gonna check out the Bubba Cup here real quick. I don't even have I shouldn't have to take the lid off of this. I did it anyway, but it actually has a little hole, like a sippy hole in it, which I could have stuck the thermometer through. But as you can see, it's right at the freezing line as well. So with the exception of the standard Coldest water bottle, they're all pretty much on par. So what I did was I actually took them out and put them in the trunk of my car. It was 81 degrees outside at the time I started the whole test. The real feel was actually 83. I took a screenshot to put in here so you guys can see how warm it actually was. But as I said, I put them in the trunk of my car. I figured that was the best place to make sure they were in constant heat. They weren't in direct sunlight because they were in the trunk, but the trunk is actually hotter than what it was outside. So I figured it would be a good way to test these out for a couple of hours. So after the first hour, I forgot to take a shot of the phone to show the time, but it was after an hour I went out and checked the temperatures for the first time. So we're going to start off here with the plastic water bottle, and if you watch it, it's not going down at all. It's actually right above 70, maybe 72, 73 degrees. That didn't last long, and it's drenched. The whole thing is sweating like a pig, and that, while still colder than the outside, not very good at all. So we'll put that back down. We'll test it again in an hour. Next up, let's do the Bubba Cup. Now, like I said, this Bubba Cup has, where the straw goes in, actually has a hole cut out where the straw, it can maneuver around, but it also can double as a sippy cup. Or I don't know what that actual is called, but I thought that this would affect this thing a lot more than what it did. So huge plus for the Bubba Cup, because with that extra hole, whereas the Limitless bottle only has the hole in the straw, this one has the hole in the straw plus that excess hole around it, and it stayed at 40 degrees, I believe. It might be just below 40 degrees, like 38. So it raised maybe 6 degrees in an hour, which not terrible. That's still a pretty good cold drink. So let's move on to the Limitless. Like I said, it has the hole in the top through the straw, so I thought maybe it wouldn't test as well as the standard Coldest bottle, but this thoroughly shocked me when I put it in and I saw that this water had not changed temperature whatsoever. After an hour of sitting in the heat with a straw, letting in heat, this thing did not budge. It is still at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So that surprised me. I thought it would raise at least a couple of degrees, but no, it stayed right where it was at. It's like no heat is getting in here. And then we move on to the Coldest Water Bottle, which you guys would know. It stayed right around 40. I actually had a rough time measuring the temperature of these things. The thermometer kept falling down into the bottle. But yeah, it stayed right at 40. It's warmer because I had to put a little bit of warmer water in the bottle to test or to fill it completely. So after about 2 hours, we check again, and we start off with the plastic water bottle, which was warm to the touch, so I knew this was going to be just disastrous for it. It's over 80 degrees. It's actually closer to 90 than 80, so it's actually hotter. The water in the water bottle is actually hotter than it was outside. After 2 hours in the heat, it's done. It's done. We're just gonna put that off to the side because we're not gonna be testing it anymore. Next up is bubble cup time. Now, I think this is again surprised me to the fact where it's right around 40, so it has not budged, or it has budged about 8 degrees. Still pretty impressive for 2 hours out in the heat, but the Limitless bottle still at freezing. It has not budged one single bit. And then I dropped the thermometer in the bottle yet again for the second time. Actually, it was like the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time because I kept dropping it after I picked it up. But as you can see, it's right above 40, right around where it was when I started the test. Then the final measure came in at 457, which I started around 115 or 114. I think it was 114 when it was 130 when I actually got the bottles out. So we're talking about 3.5 hours. After 3.5 hours, we do a final temperature test of the 3 bottles. The most significant change for the bubble water was this time it had raised to 50, which it's still pretty good. Pretty good temperature if it's a hot day, and so that the bubble cup did impress me, but it was no match for these Coldest bottles. The standard Coldest bottle, as you can see, right around 50 where we started at, and then the Limitless bottle comes in right below 40 degrees. So after 3.5 hours out in the heat, we budged maybe 5 degrees. That's actually pretty awesome. The one last thing I want to do with the comparison between these bottles is the pour test. So I'm going to tip these upside down just to show you guys if they are in fact leak proof or not. We're going to start off with the Limitless bottle, which I was actually pretty surprised that you have a small spurt and then you just get drops. Like you don't have a steady pour out of the straw, which was pretty impressive. You do have a little bit of a mess to clean up, but nothing crazy. Of course, if we take the straw out and do it, it closes up, so you get a drop. Pretty impressive. That is a pretty watertight puncher hole there. Probably will get worse over time. I don't know. The original Coldest bottle, though, of course, it's leak proof. There's no water getting out of that. And the bubble cup, unfortunately, because of that hole, you have a huge mess to clean up. So In all this testing, the with the exception of leak proof, or spill proof, the Limitless bottle reigned supreme. It stayed the coldest. It fits in all the cup holders, and it's overall the biggest, so the most water. So yeah, in my test here, I gotta give it the overall best rating to the Limitless bottle. It pleasantly surprised me with the whole. I thought for sure with the hole in the straw that the water would get warmer much faster than the standard Coldest Water Bottle, but it proved me wrong. But if you would like this new Limitless bottle, or any of the Coldest bottles for that matter, you can head on over to thecoldest.com and use Phoenix 10 at checkout. Save yourself 10% off. It's definitely worth it. Like I said, we are a Coldest family, and now I'm a Limitless guy too, because this bottle is awesome. Anyway, that's going to do it for me for today, guys. If you guys did like the video, do me a huge favor, leave a like down below. If you guys want to see future videos, be sure to click the subscribe button. As always, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.